Hi everyone, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing something a little bit different. I wanted to revisit some makeup in my collection. So things that I've either tried and I kind of liked it, but I wasn't 100% sure, or just things maybe I've tried off camera and they've kind of gotten pushed to the back of the drawer for whatever reason. Kind of just wanted to revisit some of those things today. The product that kind of inspired this video was the Saie, I always forget the name of it, the Saie Glowy Super Skin foundation. I bought this when it launched. I did a video on it and I was just kind of in the middle about it. I was unsure. So I went through my collection and just picked out some things that I wanted to revisit today. If you're new here, my name is Blair. I do all kinds of beauty and makeup content here on YouTube every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I hope you'll subscribe and let's get into it. I wanted to start with a color corrector. I don't have too many color correctors for under my eyes that I feel this way about, but this is one I get asked about a lot and I do have it. I don't know. I just don't have solid feelings on it. And it's this one from Flower Beauty. I think it's just their under eye corrector in the shade Light Peach. So this one comes in 3 shades. There's Light Peach, Medium Peach, and Dark Peach. When I've used it, I want to say I haven't been a huge fan of the color, but again, I could be a little off base there. So that is it there. From what I remember, it's a little bit too orangey. I want it to be a little bit more of a true peach, but I figured we could try it again today. I'm actually going to use my finger. So I'm just going to tap this in with my finger. So the consistency on this is a cream consistency, but it's a little bit, it's almost like a clay consistency. I don't mean that in like a negative way. It's not a super emollient, like hydrating feeling formula, but it does apply pretty well. I find, again, now that I'm applying it, I remember this. This is another formula that I think does best with your finger. So there it is on that eye. I find, and like I still kind of think this just looking at it, I wish it had a little bit more of a pinky undertone to it, but the color is very individual. So some people are gonna like something like this that's more of an orangey color. It just really depends on your under eyes. The coverage on it is decent. I don't think it's like the fullest coverage corrector, but it's decent. Moving on to the product that inspired this video, which is the Saie Glowy Super Skin foundation. My thinking with this is they recommend applying this with very minimal skincare underneath. So that's what I did today. I actually skipped like 3 steps of my morning skincare. So I don't have a ton of stuff on underneath this. I did apply my sunscreen like 30 minutes ago. I used this one, the Madagascar Centella Water Fit Sun Serum with SPF 50. But that's been probably closer to 45 minutes now, and that's all I have on. So we're not priming, we're not doing anything. And we're gonna try this the way that they say you're supposed to use it. When I tried this, I didn't dislike it. It just wasn't something where I was like, ooh, yeah, like I really like this. This is gonna be like a new favorite for me. I was just kind of like, it's okay. According to the brand, you don't need a lot underneath this because there's so much skincare in the product that you just don't need a lot underneath, which is fine. It's just kind of against how I normally apply makeup, but I figured we'll do it their way today and see. So this is an IT Cosmetics brush that I'm using. This is the name is actually rubbed off. I think it's the number 7 brush. like Heavenly Face or something like that. But it's clean, so it has no product on it. Looks pretty good just from a distance, but let's do the other side. I would say the coverage on this, I'm just getting...
I didn't get that. Could you try again? Apple.com should be able to answer that question.
I don't want you to answer a question. Okay, so I'm gonna get what's left on the back of my hand and just tap this in. So yeah, I would say this is, I would say not even a medium coverage at this point. I would say this is like light medium. So this is how that pump looks on my skin. So looking up close at this, obviously it's extremely dewy looking, very, very dewy looking. So I get where they're coming from, where they're saying you don't want to apply a lot of product underneath here. And I will say, in terms of how it's sitting on my skin, I think it definitely looks the best it's looked being applied this way. Maybe this will be the answer. I don't know. I don't love the idea that I can't use my skincare the way I want to before applying it, but it's laying very nicely on my skin. I can confidently say this type of formula is not really one you're going to be able to build up a whole lot. It's the serum-y texture is kind of, I don't know, it's like it just lays the best over minimal, very smooth canvas with not much to interfere with it. So I'm not going to apply more of it. We do have a concealer that I want to try again, and this can maybe give us a little bit more coverage where I need it. But I wanted to try the Tom Ford Traceless Matte Concealer again. I have the shade 1W0 Ecru. I used this, I don't know, it's been a few weeks, I guess. I really liked this initially, but I feel like I haven't tested it out enough. So that is it there in the shade Ecru. Okay, I'm gonna actually flip the brush and use the smaller end, and we'll apply this under my eyes. So yeah, this was a product I actually liked quite a bit initially, but I feel like I haven't tested it out enough since to really give like a definitive answer on it. Like, do you see the difference there? This eye versus this eye. And I did not use much product at all, just a little bit. This shade in particular is really nice because it has a little bit of a peachier undertone. So it also kind of helps with darkness. Okay, so I feel like it looks pretty good under my eyes. I'm gonna take that brush that we used for the foundation, and I'm gonna add a little bit to my face where that Saie foundation didn't give enough coverage. Yeah, this shade in the Tom Ford is really good for me. Also, something else I'm remembering about the Tom Ford now that I'm applying it again, it is a matte concealer, but I would say it's not as matte as like the NARS Soft Matte Concealer to me. It is matte, but it's more of a, I don't know, like a hydrated matte. I don't know how to explain it, but it applies really beautifully, I have to say. I'm gonna take a little bit of it right around my nose. This is kind of a nice concealer to pair with this foundation just because that foundation is so glowy. Okay, yeah, that concealer, I was right the first time on that. I remember when I tried it initially, I was like, this is pretty good. It is. It's just very, very natural looking on your skin, but it gives really great coverage without being heavy or cakey or too dry. Now, it could also be that it works really well with that Saie foundation because it's like two opposites. I've been trying to think of makeup more in that way lately where if I have on a lot of glowy products, trying to pair it with more matte products to kind of offset the two, and vice versa. If you got something, if your skin is pretty matte and you need some glow, adding more cream or hydrating type products to kind of balance them out. Okay, let's move on. What else do I have here? To a cream bronzer contour. I bought this a while ago, the Milk Sculpt Stick. Is that right? Yeah, the Sculpt Stick in the shade Toasted, which is very cool toned. So that is it there. And this one has not gotten enough use for me to really tell you how I feel about it. So I figured we could try it again today. I was gonna say I'll use a brush first. I think I'm actually just gonna apply a little bit to my skin directly. I don't always do that, but since this is more of a contour shade, I wouldn't really bronze with this. I'm gonna just try to draw it on. So I'm just gonna add a little because I don't want a lot. And I'm gonna blend that out with the 109 from BK Beauty. Quite possibly the best brush to use for a contour in particular. Anything where you really want to press it in where you've applied it. You see that? You see how easy that just blended in? I think this should be, hopefully it's still in stock. But because it's this smaller brush head with this angled shape, you can literally just lightly press and it's blended. And it's so small, the brushes, that you can kind of keep it exactly where you've applied it, which is what you want to do with contouring. So this is definitely not something I would use to bronze. Like I said, it's a little too gray, but applied just sparingly. I want to say when I used this before, I put it all over, like I put it up here too, and I didn't like the color like that, but it definitely works well as a contour on me. All right, I actually do have a powder bronzer that we're gonna use too, but I wanna use powder first, and we're gonna go in with this. So this is the NARS Soft Matte Advanced Perfecting Powder. I have the shade Creek. I bought this, again, a while ago. I used it in a video, and I feel like I haven't used it since. So I don't really know how I feel about it, but I wanna test it out a bit more. I'm gonna apply this with the number 55 brush from Sephora. I feel like this will be a really good foundation to test this with because that Saie foundation is so glowy. So I'm gonna kind of go all over my face with this really lightly, like I'm barely pressing down, I'm just barely tapping my skin. Okay, yeah, so it looks really nice today. Like it set my face, but it didn't take away every single bit of shine, but my face definitely looks more normal now, like more natural in terms of the finish. You guys, actually, the more I look at my skin, the more I'm like, wow, actually it looks really good today. Oh my gosh, am I gonna like fall in love with some of these things now? Possibly, we will see. But for bronzer, you guys, it's the Gucci bronzer again. This is my third Gucci bronzer. I had shade 3, didn't like it. I had shade 2, didn't like it. The colors were not right for me. I returned one and I resold the other one. I have shade 1. Now I have been using this. I've been using it for random videos, mainly on Instagram. I have not used shade 1, I don't think, in a YouTube video yet. So we're gonna use it today, but I think I have finally found the one for me, but I wanna use it for this video since it seems appropriate. So this is shade 1. I'm gonna apply it with this Refer number 5 brush. And we're just gonna start lightly applying this. So the shade on this in shade number 1 is a little bit more of like a rosy color. It's not red, but it just has a slight rosy kind of undertone to it, which is nice if you have really fair skin. But it's definitely way better for me than shade 2 or 3. Those just did not work for me. And this is actually the brush I've been using with this bronzer, the number 5 from Refer. This is the only Refer brush I've ever tried, and I've used it here and there. I like it. It's never been like a absolute favorite for me, but now that I've been using it with this Gucci bronzer, I've really been liking it for this formula in particular. So it might be a new favorite with this bronzer in particular. So I'm going to take some on the sides of my nose. But yeah, it's just a very natural looking bronzer color. So basically what I'm saying is I should have had this color the whole time, and I wouldn't have had so many issues, I don't think. For blush, I realized I have not used this very much in videos either, or in real life. So I want to use this, the Too Faced Cloud Crush Blurring Blush. So I've been using the Haus Labs blushes much more than these. I have 2 of these, but this is obviously the pink color in Candy Clouds. The formula on this and the Haus Labs is very similar to me. So I want to use this again to kind of familiarize myself with this formula again. I want to say Haus Labs is definitely much more pigmented, yeah, for sure. But the look is similar. I would agree, they're both more of a mattifying, kind of smoothing formula. The Haus Labs just packs a little bit more of a punch in terms of the pigment, but they're both nice. So I have another one too. I forget what the name of it is, but it's more of like, I think it's like a nude with a little bit of a rosy undertone to it, but I do really like this color. You know me and these bright pink blushes. I just can't get enough. Okay, I don't really have any brow products that I feel this way about, so I'm gonna do my brows quickly and then I'll be back and we'll move on to some eye stuff. I did my brows, I applied a little bit of eye primer. We're gonna move on to the eyes. I have 2 single products. I didn't really have an eyeshadow palette that came to mind when I was picking the products for this video, but I have these 2 things. So the first is the About Face Fluid Eye Paint. And this is one of the matte colors in Smell Before Rain. I bought this a while ago at Ulta when I was there one day, and I used it, but I feel like I didn't love it, but I can't really remember. So I want to try it again. So looks like that's kind of an interesting color. It's kind of a taupe it has just a little bit of warmth to it, but I would say it's pretty cool toned. I want to try this again. And then I also want to use this Victoria Beckham lid luster. I bought this a while ago when I did that Victoria Beckham video, and I was kind of underwhelmed with this, but I was reading through the comments and a lot of you told me I really needed to like get in there and really work the product before I applied it. So I don't know. Figured we could do like a really easy eye today and just use these. Let me grab my favorite brush for this type of product, which is the MAC 217. So I'm gonna apply about that much. I don't know how much to apply of this. And I'm just gonna kind of apply this on the lid and then kind of feather whatever is left up just a little bit. I love this type of product. Like I love the Rim Beauty matte eye paints. Very, very subtle and definitely kind of gray looking, I would say. I want to say maybe that's what my initial thought on this was, that it was a little too gray. But that blended really easy, like very easy. I want to say when I was in Ulta, they had these on like an end cap, but they didn't have a ton of colors. I could be wrong, but I feel like these come in a bunch of different shades, but Ulta in store only has like a select few of them. Okay, yeah, so the blend on this is really good. They almost feel a little bit like cream to powder almost. I think we'll go ahead and take some of this Victoria Beckham lid luster. This one is in the shade Chiffon, so we can use this again. I love the way this looks, and this is the kind of product that I love, so I really want to love this. I don't know, I just felt kind of underwhelmed when I used it the first time, so I'm gonna do what you guys say and really like get it in there. Okay. Definitely more like of a punch this time than I remember the last time. Maybe, I don't know, I want to say last time I just thought they were kind of underwhelming. I'm wondering if it was what a lot of you said, which was I need to like really dig in there and not just scrape the surface. So I feel like that looks better than I remember it looking. I do want to take a little bit of my bronzer, so we're going to use the Gucci bronzer, and I'm gonna apply this in the crease just to kind of add a little bit of warmth, and it'll kind of connect everything together also. Okay, looking at my eyes up close, definitely liking the way this looks. Other than the color's not my absolute favorite, but I like this a lot actually. The lid luster, I feel like even like on camera, looking at it in the viewfinder, I feel like it looks better than it does in person. I don't know, it's like I just want a little bit more out of this. I don't know. Maybe it's the color that I have. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts if you have these. Next, I want to use this liner again. So this is the Give Line It Up 24-Hour Pencil Gel Eyeliner in the shade Greener Pastures. So I bought this during the Sephora sale, and I used it in one of my videos, but I think it was the one where I used the Kaja eyeshadow, the Forest Night eyeshadow. So I had a lot going on my eyes. I feel like you couldn't really see this liner that well. So I figured we could use it again in this video. I'm gonna apply it to the outer half of my lash line, and then I'm taking the 208 from BK Beauty as always, and I'm just gonna kind of drag it out just a little. I love this color. I'm telling you, if you have green eyes, this color is just so pretty. So pretty. Okay, I'm also gonna take a little bit of this Give pencil on the bottom lash line, and then I'm actually gonna go in with the Gucci bronzer, and I'm just gonna kind of smudge that out a little bit. I just curled my lashes, and I'm gonna use this mascara again, the Jones Road mascara. This is very new to me. The formula has gotten super kind of clumpy on the brush, so I feel like I need to wipe it off a little. So it does what it says 100%. Like, look at that. 100%. It is a little bit clumpy though. Like, it's even after I rubbed a bunch of it off on the sides here, I feel like it is kind of getting a little clumpy, but I mean, it adds a lot of volume Gosh, this would be great in brown. This would be such a great brown mascara. Maybe one day all these brands will start making brown. Last, for the lips, I pulled out this liner from Tower 28. I got this a while ago and I don't even know if I've used this in a YouTube video. Honestly don't know. So this is the multi-liner, the one-liner multi-liner from Tower 28 in the shade Work of Art. These came out a while ago and you can supposedly use them on your eyes and your cheeks as well. I have not tried that, but I figured we could at least use it as lip liner today. I did also pull out this from Makeup by Mario. This is his newest lip product. I can't ever remember the name of it. I'll have to put it up on the screen, but I bought this when these came out. I pretty much buy everything he comes out with, and I liked it okay, but I wasn't like, I don't know, I wasn't obsessed with it. You know, if you watch my videos, I love the Moisture Glow serums from him. This is very different. So I want to try it again. This is the shade Soft Blush. Yeah, so this is almost like a watery consistency. Almost feels like a lip oil to me. Very different. The Moisture Glow, the lip serums are pretty thick. A lot of people don't like that about them actually, as they are more of a thick formula. I personally love it. I love the feel of them, but I wanted to wear this one again today and see what I think. All right, you guys, that is everything for this video. This honestly didn't really turn out how I thought it was going to. I thought I was going to kind of confirm to myself that I didn't like a lot of these things, and actually I think the opposite thing has happened. So we'll just kind of go through everything quickly. The foundation, I think they're not lying when they tell you you apply this with very little underneath it and it will apply the best. This is definitely the best this has looked of the times that I've applied this by far. And today I applied very, very little skincare this morning, and then I did my SPF, but I waited like 45 minutes before I started filming this video. We didn't use primer, and yeah, I think that's gonna be the best way to apply this, sadly. However, I do think the combination of things I paired together, so this, the Tom Ford, and that powder, the NARS powder, I think this was like a match made in heaven because this is so glowy. These two counteract it in like the very best way, because my skin, just with these three things, I mean, it looks really good. Very smooth, very natural, not heavy at all. This is like a very good combination of products. Not saying you need to go out and buy these, but think of products that you have. Maybe if something is too dry for you, try pairing it with something really hydrating, or if something is too glowy, try pairing it with something that's more matte to see if you can kind of counteract the two, or not really counteract, but more like balance the two things. The concealer, that's a definite yes from this video for sure. The foundation I like, but I don't like that I have to apply it in a specific way. The concealer looks fantastic. I did not set under my eyes. It looks really good. It looks good on my face. Color is good. It's matte, but like I said earlier when I was applying it, it's not a dry matte. It's a very, I want to say hydrating feeling matte. I know that kind of doesn't make sense, but it applies very smooth and creamy and just nice. So I have to say, my first thought on this, I think, was correct, which is that it's good. I actually really love this today as well. I don't know if it's just because it really did mattify that foundation just enough. I don't know, but it looks really good. It definitely smoothed out this area, which is kind of my main area of concern with pores and being shiny. I really like the base overall. I like these two the best. I still am kind of iffy on the foundation, but I think it looks good today. The Milk Stick, this I really enjoyed as well. Definitely like it more today than I did the other times. And I think it's just because I applied very little and I only applied it kind of underneath my cheekbones to kind of add a little bit of the shadowing there. So I think this very good formula. If you have this color, just maybe don't apply it anywhere except right under your cheeks or anywhere you want to add shadow. The Gucci bronzer. I think we have finally found the Gucci bronzer for me, and it's the shade number 1. Yeah, I needed this one all along. It's a beautiful color, very natural, a little bit rosy, and I think that's part of what I really like about it is that rosy undertone really kind of mimics a natural suntan. If you're around my skin tone and you're wanting the Gucci bronzer, I would say probably go with shade number 1. Oh, I just realized I didn't mention this, the flower corrector. I liked this today. I think it applied really well on my under eyes. That concealer from Tom Ford paired very well over the top. It's just a little bit orangey, Obviously, I put concealer over the top, so it doesn't really matter, but this is not one I could get away with wearing on its own. It's a good, affordable option if you like this tone. I think the formula is very good. It's a little bit on the dry side. So if you want something super hydrating, I don't know that you would love this, but today I liked it. The Too Faced blush, very, very nice. I think if you have a House Labs blush already, I don't think you need one of these. If you don't have a House Labs blush and you want something that is matte and kind of that smoothing formula, I think you would like this. If you like more pigment, I would go House Labs. If you like more buildable pigment, I would go with Too Faced. This, I'm glad I tried again, the About Face eye paint. I love the application. The application was so easy to blend. I mean, it was just smooth, kind of like almost like a buttery texture in like the best way. I like this a lot. I kind of want to look into other shades. If you've used these before, let me know if you have a shade that you like. But I'm glad that I pulled this out again and kind of tried it out. The Victoria Beckham, I kind of feel the same about. I don't think this really changed the way I feel. I do agree you do have to kind of like really dig in there to kind of really get that shine to come through, but I still feel like it's a little underwhelming. I want it to be a little more reflective. It's pretty, but I don't know. I don't know that I love these enough to say I would spend the money on them because they're expensive. Love this from Give. I'm glad I used it again today. If you have green eyes, I'm telling you, or hazel eyes, this shade and Greener Pastures, so pretty. I love this so much. It reminds me of an eyeliner I used when I was young and I didn't wear much makeup, but when I did wear eyeliner, I wore the Clinique True Khaki eyeliner, and it's almost an identical color to this, and it just reminds me of that time in my life, but I love this. Highly recommend that from Give. The mascara, I've tried that a few times. I feel pretty confident in that. It's a great mascara. It adds a ton of length and volume, a ton. It is a little bit clumpy though, and the brush is very large. So if you don't like those things, I might skip that one. But of the times I've used it, I have enjoyed it, but it is a little bit clumpy. So just keep that in mind. And the lips. Okay, love the lip liner. It's a lip liner, so there's not a whole lot I can say. I will try to remember when I upload this to update you on the lip liner. I would be curious though to try this on the eyes and the cheeks since they say that you can. If you've done that with this, let me know. But I like this. It applied well. I like the color. And then so far, I love the way this looks on my lips in soft blush. This pairs really well with that lip liner. Feels very thin, almost watery on your lips. So if you don't like that kind of finish or that kind of feel, you might not like it. I've seen a few people saying they thought it like separated weird on their lips. I have not experienced that, but I don't have a ton of lines in my lips, so maybe that's why. I'm liking it so far. So I feel like we found more that I liked in this video than I didn't, but this was very fun. I want to start doing these more frequently because I feel like this happens a lot where I will try new makeup. I will have certain things that I use a lot, but then I'll have some things that just kind of get pushed to the side for whatever reason. And it's nice to kind of come back and revisit them. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure to subscribe if you have not already. Follow me on Instagram at simply.blair and TikTok simply.blair1. I will have everything listed and linked below for you. They are affiliate links, so I do make a small commission if you do shop through them. And I will go ahead and see you guys in my next video. Remember, simply be you. Bye.